Let's get more on this. Joining us live in the studio is Sherine El Taraboulsi-McCarthy, who's a research fellow at the Overseas Development Institute, which specialises in aid, conflict and security in the Middle East. Thanks for coming to talk to us. So, first of all, why do you think that the funeral of Saleh has been postponed in this way?
Well, because the situation in Yemen today is very uncertain. There's complete breakdown of security, as you probably know. Saleh supporters are in a position where they're invited to join either the Houthis or to join the Saudi-led coalition. So there are a lot of political uncertainties, as well as the fighting that's going on the ground, which has probably led to that.
And is it your impression that we saw the Houthis out celebrating today, that actually there has been a pause that the UN has asked for in fighting, or is it hard to tell from Yemen what's actually going on?
What we're learning from Yemen is that there has been no pause, that there is constant fighting taking place, and the humanitarian situation has gotten a lot worse than it was. There's completely no access to aid or assistance from international humanitarian organizations or local ones. People have managed to get out of their homes today. Nevertheless, there's no access to food or medicine, and the humanitarian crisis is a big worry that the international community should be concerned about.
What's your impression about what the Houthis will do next and where they're going to take this? I suppose it is a civil war, isn't it, where they're going to take the fighting next?
It's only going to get worse, unfortunately. The Houthis right now have an opportunity to control the whole of SANAA and to try to control Yemen. And if anything, this means the intensification of violence on the ground between the Saudi-led coalition and the Houthis.
What kind of popular support do they have? I mean, there's some people suggesting that actually in the areas that they have been in charge of, their governance has actually not been that great, and people are starting to feel annoyed with that. Is that something that you're hearing at all?
Well, the situation is very complicated on the ground. On the one hand, the killing of Saleh has shocked Yemenis and has shocked everyone. The footage that we've seen and the pictures of him murdered has shocked a lot of Yemenis and has turned them against the Houthis to a certain extent. Nevertheless, the Saudi-led coalition, the ongoing blockade, the blocking of shipments and food and assistance has also turned the Yemenis against the Saudis. And so it's very difficult to understand the situation on the ground, except insofar as it is very complicated and people's loyalties are divided. I think what Yemenis are mostly concerned about today is finding food and assistance. That is their primary concern.
What kind of action or sort of intervention do you expect from the international community on this? I mean, so far there hasn't been any progress on any of the diplomatic attempts to sort of bring things to a resolution. Where do you think that it goes next in terms of the international community?
I think Yemen has never had an honest broker. The international community has never stepped in properly to address the situation in Yemen. There's always been political interest of sorts getting in the way. And this is the problem we are witnessing today. Yesterday, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights put together a commission to investigate violations of human rights taking place in Yemen. This is not even months, it's years late. And the international community has been calling for this time and time again, and yet no action has taken place. So in terms of first steps, a call for a ceasefire is important. Pressure on the Saudis to lift the blockade and allow assistance in is a necessity. And I think the United Kingdom, as well as the US, need to revisit their arms sales to Saudi Arabia now more than ever. Our researchers at ODI has put together a number of studies that look at the impact of the arms sales, as well as the humanitarian crisis on lives in Yemen. And the consequences are extremely serious. So think of Yemenis first and the people, and politicians, as well as the international community, need to put that first and take it into consideration.
Sherine El Taraboulsi-McCarthy, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.